Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Aziz Drives. In today's episode we have a wonderful Audi R8 from 2015. Before we start the review, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like our video, go to Instagram, TikTok, follow us there. Let's start with the design. So the Audi R8 is around us since 2003. It was first presented in Geneva with the first model, which was called the Audi Type 42. 20-year-old design, this beautiful thing. And the designer was Julian Hönig and Frank Limberty. This is their facelift version from 2015, which is still built to the present, and I think it looks absolutely wonderful. Very big grille, typical Audi R8 design, and it shares the same platform as its brother, the Lamborghini Huracan. I like a lot how they did this wonderful, very simple design at the front, but still somehow complicated. It has a combination of both worlds somehow. It is very simple, no very fancy lines on the bonnet, for example, but still it looks very aggressive. It had some nice angles here, for example, for the air to travel through. A little bit of carbon fiber at the front splitter, very nice. Beautiful headlights, very beautiful, and then very simple on the side. Of course, this beautiful black wheel matching with the blue color. This is a wrap and it's a rental car that you can get if you want. Write me in the comment section if you want to rent it, and it's just a very nice look. Also from the side, openings here to cool the engine, because the engine sits right behind you. It's a mid-engined car. It's a fantastic engine that you also should know about. It's the 5.2 liter V10 and it is cooled by this opening. On the side we have something very typical. The first Audi R8 that they presented, and that was built from 2006, had a combination of those two carbon fiber parts here into one. This was kind of splitted in here, so we have two of them. Looks very nice. The upper part doesn't really help a lot. It has an opening to cool the engine some more, but I mean there are some people that kind of connect those two, but I like it this way. I think it's very nice, and it's the last R8 that is ever going to be built, sadly, because energy consumption, fuel consumption, and all the restrictions. This is the last R8 that we actually have. And then you come to the back, typical Audi R8, very similar to the first model. Interesting looks, very beautiful exhaust. This sounds absolutely ridiculous. If you want to check out how it sounds, make sure to see our driving review on that thing, because it was absolutely insane. Capristo exhaust. And then we come to the back. Okay, a lot of openings, very necessary, because the V10 sits right behind you and it's behind this glass door. So to open the bonnet, you have a little button that releases the lock, and then it goes up via those hydraulics. So what do we have here? It's a 5.2 liter naturally aspirated V10 producing 610 horsepower, 560 Newton meters of torque, accelerates the car from 0 to 100 in 3.2 seconds and tops out at about 330 kph. There were some other versions, like for example the normal Audi R8, which has 540 horsepower, but this is the R8 V10 Plus, so we have the full 610 horsepower. So now, have a listen. I know we shouldn't talk about it, but let's see how practical this Audi R8 really is, because we have the bonnet that is also the trunk. So very easy, you just press this button and you open the bonnet and you have 111 liters, and you actually have a 12-volt battery charger if you want. I mean, you know, the problem is with those cars, this is actually like an Audi TT on steroids, to be honest. So you would have to drive it daily almost. It's very easy to drive actually, and I think a lot of people will drive this daily. It's not the typical supercar that you cannot drive on daily drives, that you only can take out for weekends, etc. It's a very easy and chilly car to drive. It's actually very comfortable. So 111 liters for the trunk. Let's have a look at the interior. Welcome to the interior of the Audi R8 V10 Plus from 2016. And as you can tell, it is a very, very fancy interior. They really took it to the next level with this interior. So first of all, when you sit inside the Audi R8, you feel very comfortable. Everything is towards you and there's not a lot of fancy things. There are some fancy forms like the air vents, for example, here integrated into the dashboard or into the door actually on the left side. That looks very fancy. Also those buttons here, for example, for the climate control, this is fancy. Down here, your controls to turn the ESP off, automatic start, stop, park distance control, and all of that is very easy. But there is no screen in the middle, nothing to distract you. Everything is integrated into this MMI central here where the speedometer is. So you have a big speedometer, it's all digital and you can change it from here. So I can go, for example, and use the map. I can go to navigation, media, radio, and all of that stuff. We have a very good Bang & Olufsen sound system here. And it's actually integrated into the headrest of this seat. So when you drive, for example, you have an open window and you lean back like this, you can actually hear your music coming out of the seat itself. So very nice. Then beautiful Caro designed seat in the middle. The car has been used a lot. It has over 100,000 kilometers, but the seats feel very nice and beautiful. Then you have the DVD. For example, you don't have anything to put your CD in here. This is also from the time that you had CDs. It's here. It's right behind your seat. Plus you can put your SD card in, etc. Then, of course, the dual clutch transmission, DSG 7-speed gearbox. Here, of course, for you to your adjustment of the media, your adjustment of the volume, for example, and the rest is integrated. Or right at the steering wheel, start and stop button, the drive select. You can select from 4 different drive modes: comfort, auto, where it does it itself, dynamic, and individual. And then you have something very interesting, which is this little button with the racing flag on. This transforms the car completely to an insane machine. It turns off the ESP, it gives you the full sound experience, and then you actually have exhaust pipes on or off to open the flaps at the exhaust. So very nice. They use some very fancy materials here, for example, on the dashboard and on the door. This is not leather, it's a combination of this material on the top and the leather down below. And I think because the leather would be exposed to the sun, so it wears down pretty fast, they use stuff here, material, and then underneath like this, for example, that is most of the time in the shadow, is leather. Also here where you have your mobile phone and your charging ports and your aux and all of that is leather. Carbon fiber down here, carbon fiber around the air vent. Very nice and beautiful armrest here that has 2 cup holders integrated into them. You press a button and then it goes up like this. That is not the most logical one, because when you're driving and you go into a corner and your cup is here, you might spill it with your elbow. But don't drink when you're driving fast. All right. So other than that, it feels very nice. Okay. And the best thing is how this car performs. Really, that's the best thing. You have a very easy feeling. It is still a car. It's not like a spaceship. You feel very comfortable inside here and you feel safe, and that's the most important thing. And that's why I think the Audi R8 is actually something like a 911, a car that you can drive daily. It's pretty reliable. I was trying to find out a lot of problems with it so I can tell you about them, but it seems that not a lot of people have problems with this car. Of course, the dual clutch transmission and the clutch wear is going to be a problem. 2 clutches, it's going to be expensive. Maybe a little bit of maintenance at the engine because of oil leaks or something like that, but that's it. Other than that, it's quite a solid car. When you drive it daily, long tracks, etc., or on the Autobahn, you're not going to have a lot of problems. So it's a great, great car. And that's about it for the interior and the exterior review. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to check out our POV and our driving review on the car, and see you on the next one. Goodbye.